Well, thank you to my outstanding colleague from the great state of Arizona, Mr. Biggs, and also from the great state of Texas, Mr. Babin, for hosting this special order this evening. It's time to call a spade a spade. The wide open border policies of the Biden-Harris regime are killing, quite literally killing, Americans across the country. And there's no denying this. You know, I myself have been to the border 9 times, and I have ridden along with our agents through their shifts for hours, seeing firsthand the horror, the trafficking, the crime, the gang members, the abuse of women and children. I've seen the hundreds of thousands of wristbands littering the ground along the riverbanks, the wristbands that the cartels force people to wear to show which cartel they belong to, how much they have been paid, and of course, what number they are. It's such a big operation that the cartels have created the most efficient means possible to move people into the country illegally. And what's worse, the American government, Biden and Harris, they're helping the cartels do it. How, you might ask? Well, it's by taking away critical resources from our Border Patrol agents, by not enforcing the current laws on the books, and by taking away policies that stop the flow of illegals. Not by legislative action, but through executive action, of course. And I suppose we shouldn't be surprised that Biden and his border czar, Kamala Harris, they don't care about the law. When it gets in their way, they subvert it. It's clear they have zero regard for the American people, despite nearly 300 people a day dying of the trafficked fentanyl that comes across the border, or the thousands who have fallen victim to violent crime by illegals. They just simply ignore us, pretend like it doesn't happen, it doesn't exist. Now, while the Vice President, aka Border Czar, pretends to care now all of a sudden about our southern border, I have a few questions for her. Madam Vice President, do you know how many Americans have been harmed by criminal illegal aliens? Do you know how many lives have been forever changed by the violence perpetrated against them by the people who broke our laws? You invited here, you flew here, they have crossed our border and harmed our citizens? As if every town in America wasn't already a border town, I ask this: what about the hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied minors trafficked into this country for whom the federal government knows nothing of their whereabouts? 325,000 kids that have been lost under your watch. Now, what have you done about that? Do their lives not matter? These children have been forced into child labor situations, sex trafficking, abuse. What has been done about that? And it happened on your watch. House Republicans have been correcting the record, shining a spotlight on the disastrous crisis at our southern border for 4 years now, sounding the alarm of the failures of this administration, and particularly Border Czar Harris. She's not fooling the American people by pretending to care all of a sudden. She's not fooling this chamber. She's certainly not fooling the angel families that have lost loved ones due to the reckless policies that she and President Biden have put forth. We need a real commander-in-chief, not a czar, not someone who's cackling, laughing and making jokes. It's not a laughing matter. We certainly don't need a trafficker-in-chief. That's what we have now. We need a real commander-in-chief, and November is coming. With that, I yield.
I thank the gentlelady.